For 16 years, the land burned, brothers turned to enemies, kingdoms crumbled, and the drums of war echoed from Ibadan to Ekiti. This was not just a war, it was a storm. The final chapter in a battle for Yoruba destiny. This was the Kiriji War. Before the smoke rose and the blades clashed, the Yoruba land was divided not by blood, but by power. After the fall of Oyo, Ibadan rose like a giant, conquering town after town, demanding tribute. But the people of Ekiti, Ijesha, Igbomina, and Akoko had had enough. The warrior city had overstepped. Ibadan was powerful, a city ruled by military generals, not kings. Its armies were feared. But that fear soon turned into hatred. Towns like Ijebu, Ife, and Ijesha grew tired of Ibadan's taxes, their soldiers, their messengers who acted like kings. Ibadan did not realize it was building an army of enemies. In 1877, the spark lit. A minor dispute between Ibadan and the Egba of Abeokuta escalated into full war. The Ekiti and Ijesha saw an opportunity. They united for the first time and refused to pay tribute. Ibadan responded with fire, but what they didn't know was that they had awakened a sleeping lion. Led by Ogedemgbe of Ilesha, a fierce warrior, scholar, and tactician, the Ekiti Parapo Confederacy was born. Towns that had once fought separately now fought as one, under one war flag. One mission: to end Ibadan's dominance. In the dense forests of Igbojo, the war began. Cannons roared, arrows flew. Ibadan met fierce resistance. But the Kiriji, named after the Kiriji sound of cannon fire, would last longer than anyone expected. Where did the Ekiti Parapo get their cannons? Some say they were smuggled from Lagos through European missionaries. Others whisper of blacksmiths who were more than craftsmen, men who forged weapons using ancient powers lost to time. He wore no crown, but ruled hearts. Ogedemgbe, once imprisoned by Ibadan, returned as the general who would face them in battle. His strategies were brilliant. His voice, thunder. His war camp, a city of its own, Ibadan began to fear him. This was not war fought on plains. This was forest warfare traps, ambushes, rituals before battle. Warriors vanished into thick undergrowth, only to reappear behind enemy lines. Even the trees became weapons. They did not only weep, they fought. Women served as spies, messengers, and priestesses. Some carried weapons into battle. Others protected the shrines. Their strength held the towns together when the men bled on the battlefield. Year after year, the war raged. Crops died. Children grew up in camps. Villages disappeared from the map. Ibadan was weakened, but the Ekiti Parapo could not break through. The war had become a curse, and the land suffered. Before every battle, the Ifa was cast. The gods consulted. The warriors took oaths before Sango, Ogun, and Obatala. This was not just war of men, it was war of spirits, and the ancestors watched every step. In 1886, the British had seen enough. Their trade routes were blocked, their missionaries threatened. So, they arrived with papers, promises, and pressure. They wanted peace, but on their terms. After 16 years, the guns fell silent. A treaty was signed. Ibadan was forced to recognize the independence of the Ekiti towns, but the British were now the new kings. They had ended the war and begun their rule. Thousands died. Entire towns were lost. The war had drained the soul of the Yoruba nation. Some say it was necessary. Others say it broke what was never healed, the unity of our people. Today, few remember the Kiriji War. There are no national holidays, no monuments, only the rusted cannon in Igbaho and the silent hills that once roared with battle. But the ancestors remember, and so must we. Listen carefully, and the land still tells the story. The trees still whisper the names of warriors. The rivers still carry the blood of sacrifice. The Kiriji War did not end, it sleeps beneath the soil, waiting. At the height of the war, in a valley near Imesi-Ile, two armies prepared to clash, but between them stood an ancient shrine untouched, unburned. Both sides stop. For a single day, warriors from Ibadan and the Ekiti Parapo laid down their arms to pour libation before the same gods. Even in war, the spirits united what men had divided. Though the battle seemed Ibadan versus Ekiti, deeper politics stirred. Some warriors fought not for freedom, but for promises, titles, land, revenge. Secret messengers moved at night, switching sides, carrying words not meant to be heard. The war was more than bloodshed. It was a chessboard of betrayals. They say he was just 16 when he entered the forest with a spear too tall for him. By 21, he commanded 400 men. His name is lost in most history books, but the elders of Ila remember. He burned 3 Ibadan outposts with no cannon, just fire and cunning. The Kiriji War created monsters, but also legends. After the treaty, the land fell